Hey everyone, in today's video we are loading up this Cat 525B grapple skidder and taking it down to the port of Baltimore, export to Bolivia. So today, I'm here in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, and we are picking up a Cat 525 grapple skidder. So this is my first time seeing this. We booked it last night. This is going down to the port of Baltimore for export. Now the guy told me that it is clean, it is not leaking, and it is ready to go. And it doesn't look too bad. I think I'll have to clean some of this stuff off. But it doesn't look like it has any leaks. And it's got some mud on it. Looks like they did kind of wash it. It doesn't look too bad. So, I guess first things first, let's see if this thing will start. I think I'm gonna have to load it up right on the road there. But, as you can see, there's not much traffic. I think we'll be all right there. So first things first, let's see if this thing will fire up. He said the key is in it. Oh, and it is. That's a good sign. Right up. So let's see if we can figure out how to drive this thing. I'm assuming this is the blade. Yep. Alright. And this should be for the grapple. Yep. See if we can figure this out here. All right, well, everything seems to work. So I think we'll be good to load this thing up. So now we got to get the trailer broken down and figure out how to get her loaded up. All right, well, first I'm gonna go grab my gloves and we'll get these branches and stuff cleaned out of here. How's that sound? In case you were wondering what a grapple skidder does, this is a grapple skidder doing its thing in the woods. Used in forestry, they grip logs with that grapple on the back and then move them around. They also have a blade that can, you know, push through brush or whatever. So there you go. I'm not gonna go crazy here. I'm gonna get the major stuff out. Well, you can tell this thing's been taken care of. It's almost, what, 20 years old? 30 years old. It's a 1998. So this is a 27-year-old machine. And it looks in pretty decent shape. And it's not that bad at all. And fired right up. I've driven these before that had a clutch too. This one is automatic, which is pretty nice. This is a little smaller one. I've hauled bigger than this. I don't know if I've ever hauled a cat skidder. Hauled John Deere skidders. They can be really picky at the port. So hopefully getting all this loose stuff off of here will satisfy them down there. Luckily this is not going to shed 12 at the port. This is going to lot 200 series, and they're not quite as picky. Shed 12 is the worst. So we'll just grab bigger stuff that's laying loose on it, and hopefully that'll be all right then. He said they washed it. Not a great job. I mean, it's not covered in mud, I guess. Mostly not covered in mud. And the tires are up. And the brakes work. I was picking up a wheel loader up in, or I was supposed to pick up a wheel loader up in Detroit, and I got there and the thing had an axle leaking gear oil. Had, I think, 2 tires that had leaks in them, and the brakes didn't work on the thing. So that was a no-go. But we had deadheaded like 200 miles to get up to Detroit to load this stinking loader. It's an old thing. And then we get there and it is just, it was dirty. They didn't bother washing it. Yeah. Boy, that could have been easily washed off right there. So anyway, we get up there to load this thing and it's got all these problems, and I said, hey, they're not going to take this at the port. So he was like, I'll clean it, and telling me that the axle that was leaking wasn't actually leaking, it was just water. And it had oil all over it. I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. So we did not end up taking that one. It just sucks because we had deadheaded so far to get it. And then usually what will happen is the broker will pay a truck ordered, not used, because you put the effort in to get to it, and by no fault of your own, it couldn't be loaded. But that broker, he completely screwed us on it, so we ended up not getting anything out of that load. So we had, and it costs, you know, anybody that runs a truck, especially a heavy haul truck, you know, it costs you, I don't know, empty, it's probably, I don't know, $2 a mile, maybe a little more than that, to move the truck. So we had already spent $300 or $400 just getting to that load. And then, you know, oh, sorry about your luck, not gonna work. And the broker wouldn't compensate us at all. So, all right. Yeah, you can tell they did wash it a little. Kind of a half-ass job. Maybe a two-thirds ass job. Still some mud on different places, but it's not too bad. It looks pretty clean from the you know, 10-foot perspective, 20 feet back. It looks pretty clean. All right, so we know it runs, we know it functions, we got all the nastiest stuff off of it. I think we're ready to get this thing loaded up. So let's not be dummies, and let's get our chains out first this time. I mean I always get my chains out first. That way I never have to crawl under the machines and dig chains out from underneath on my hands and knees. And yeah, I never do that. I always get them out first. I think that'll do it. So I got that grapple lowered down there, and then I've got it about even on the trailer. Blades down. It's not the straightest, but this thing was a pain in the butt to load, so we're gonna leave it right there. All right, let's get the truck hooked back up. Alright, so on this one I had to use these chains in the middle because there is no locking bar and this articulates, so these chains will hold this from going back and forth and articulating at this middle point. So, and that is law that you have to do that. If you don't have a locking bar, you have to chain it. So now we just got our back ones. Now we have to figure out what to do with this, which I think I'll just go from this D-ring, and then we'll probably just go, I'll probably just go up over that and down to the other side. That should hold it. Now, I almost feel like I should take another chain and take it over this way. Just kind of hold this thing steady. I don't know if I've hauled the skidder on this trailer. I don't think I have. I hauled it on my other trailer. My other trailer had a wooden deck back here and it went all the way across. I didn't have the boom trough to contend with. So I would usually set those grapples down on the deck, and then I just run a chain through the middle. But yeah, I think I'm gonna run another chain across there. Just yes, no. Yeah. Well, that one took a little bit longer than I'd expected it to, but we got it loaded up. This one is a case of, it's not real heavy, it's only about 30,000 pounds, but it's a pain in the ass to get it loaded on the trailer the right way. It's still a little crooked, but I'm calling that good. And then this one, you have to do 4 corners, so you have to do the 4 corners of the machine. And then this one doesn't have a locking bar, so you have to chain the middle so it can't articulate. And then on the back it has these grapples, and there's no real good way to chain this, so I ended up running 2 separate chains across to hold it down. But we have it chained, and I got my banners on it and flags, so we are ready to roll. Hopefully we'll have our permit here soon, and then I can head out. So maybe I'll let you guys ride back here. I don't know, is there a good place to put this where we could see everything? Maybe I could get you guys up on top of the grapple up there. That would be probably a pretty cool view. So we'll try that. All right, let's get this thing down to the port. don't know how well you guys can see this from your vantage point back there, but this is a fat load on a little road.
Bad guy in a little coat. Bad guy in a little coat.
Because yeah, this road is not very wide, and it's got all kinds of corners and hills, and trucks coming up hills. Yeah, this is a fun one. So I'm trying to go slow. There's a bunch of traffic behind me. They're just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, it's this is 11 feet 2 inches wide. So we're hanging off both sides pretty good, and it's interesting coming up through these little roads here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Just not a lot of room. So we're just coming into Strasburg now. This is actually the area I grew up. So little further south and west of here. Quarryville is my hometown. So this is only, I don't know, 10-15 miles away. So thankfully, once we get through Strasburg here, the road gets a little bigger. Won't be quite so aggravating and nerve-wracking to tool along with this thing. Yeah, that corner from Weaver Road on the Bay Post Office. Oh man, as soon as I started making that corner, I could tell that we're gonna scrape. So we drug the trailer pretty much all the way through that corner. But I just I kept going, and we kind of spun our way through there. So we made it. I didn't want to have to stop and raise the trailer up. I mean, we could have if we had to. These people, they don't want to get over at all. And it's like, look, I got no choice. I have to take what I gotta take. Anyway, yeah, that I didn't want to have to raise the trailer up. I could have done that. Just I've had to do that before, where you hop out and use the hydraulics to raise the deck up. You get around the corner, and then you got to get back out and lower it back down. But that corner especially, it was like a blind corner going one way and a blind corner going the other way, and then you have this big oversized load stuck in the middle on the corner. So I was happy we were able to get around that corner without having to stop. See, now we're opening up a little bit. This will be much better. Alright, well, we're now on 896. We'll take this up to 30, and then we'll run 30 all the way across to 83, 83 all the way down to Baltimore, and then we'll go around 695 and 95 and down to the port. So you guys enjoy the ride, and we'll get this thing down there. we got to take our paperwork over to the customs office. They'll stamp it all. I'll be back in a bit. All right, customs is done. We didn't have a problem with it. That's pretty extraordinary. Usually it's a battle with customs to get it out of here, but all good. So now we're gonna head over and get this thing delivered. Alright guys, that load is all delivered. Now we are just making our way out of Baltimore. So a couple things about that skidder. I have hauled skidders before. I think I've loaded a skidder before. But I had a spotter. You know, they helped me load it. So today was a little different. Yeah, I didn't get that on record that because I was pretty frustrated. I kept putting the damn thing on and I couldn't get it centered on the trailer because it's articulated in the middle. And when you sit in the cab of that thing, sorry, there's a car in the road. When you sit in the cab of that thing, all you see is tire. You know, you look out and all you see is a tire. So it's really hard to get it on the trailer and then get that grapple where you want it. But we got it done. Anyway, we got that load delivered. That skidder can go on the ship and make its way to Bolivia, final destination. And our part of its journey is complete. So now I just have to journey myself home. So I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the likes, all the comments, all the subscriptions. So keep it up, and I will keep making videos and posting. I will see you guys in the next video.